Get ready to elevate your wellness journey. Step into a world of holistic well-being at our most anticipated event of the year, the Flagler Wellness Expo 2024, March 23rd and 24th at FPC High School. Join us and immerse yourself in a vibrant celebration of health and wellness, curated just for you by your local community's leading wellness professionals. Discover your path to a healthier, happier, more balanced you.
This is Angela Grayson from the Loving Life Fitness Podcast to help others in their fitness journey. All possible.
It's time to wake up. Here we go.
Hi there, everybody. This is Angela Grayson from the Loving Life Fitness Podcast. And today we have with us Rick DeTata. Once again, I recorded with him not too long ago, and you learned a lot about him and his personal life. And today, Rick and I are going to talk more about different topics of exercise programs, prescription, why it's good for you, and just delve into all kinds of subjects. Hey, Rick, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. So I wanted everybody to know that, yeah, you're not a certified personal trainer, but you've been exercising all your life, and ever since you were, 12 years old?
Something like that. But, life experience is the best teacher.
Life experience, yes. You've got all that wisdom behind you. You know what works for you. You've got a lot of knowledge there that you can share with people and try to help them get going with their programs, right?
Right. What works for me may not work for somebody else, but there are foundations and basics that pretty much work for us because we're all humans. We all have the same parts and the same functions. Like cardio, you need cardio. The cardio works for everybody. Everybody has a heart. Although I've met some people without hearts, but other than that.
Yeah, what's wrong with them people, huh?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to first start talking about how exercise can help prevent disease, like hypertension, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, musculoskeletal disorders.
Oh, we're going to start with all that, huh? We're starting with the human body, yes.
Yeah, because, so many people, they've got these risk factors going on, whether it be because of family history or their sedentary lifestyles. Maybe you have smokers, people who don't eat properly and get enough exercise on top of that. So you've got all these different risk factors that can cause these problems. Do you have any of these risk factors in your life?
Absolutely not. No, none. I'm pretty healthy because I've been doing this most of my life. It's a part of the lifestyle. That's what you have to do, is make it part of your lifestyle. And consistency is the answer. You can't say, I work out, but I'm in the gym once a week. That's something, but it's really nothing. It has to be part of your daily routine. And as far as illness prevention, like let's just take diabetes, for example, working out enables the muscles to use insulin and glucose more efficiently. So you're burning it better. I mean, now some people have hereditary problems with diabetes. No matter what they do, they're going to have it. Same thing with the high cholesterol. But working out still helps because you're using muscles, you're using glucose, you're using insulin, and the body has to regenerate from doing that. And as far as hypertension, working out lowers blood pressure, especially when you're doing cardio. Well, let's talk about the different kind of cardios. There's, of course, walking, running, biking, walking on a treadmill, running on the treadmill, and these all affect your body differently. Running on a treadmill on incline, and of course, the death master of all is the Stairmaster. The Stairmaster, to me, is the ultimate cardio. That should be put in prisons for punishment because on my treadmill days, I'll go on the treadmill for maybe 30 minutes, and then I'll jump on the Stairmaster and do a Stairmaster sprint for 10, and I'll get my heart rate up to 160, 170 doing that. So, but there's two kinds of ways to do cardio. There's aerobic, which increases endurance, increases heart rate, and you use more oxygen. That's when you're doing sprints and running. Now, anaerobic, you burn more fat because you're using more calories than you are oxygen. When you're doing aerobic, you're breathing a lot heavier. So you're using more oxygen. Aerobic shreds fat by slower breathing, like long distance. Say you put the treadmill on like maybe 3.5 and you walk for 2 or 3 miles. As long as you're consistent, you're not breathing heavy, but you are burning calories. And that's how you shred the fat more. People don't know the difference between anaerobic and aerobic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And of course, it depends on your level, your ability. When you start your workout program, you might have to start out a little bit slower and work yourself up to where you're getting that heart rate up higher and you can handle it for a longer period of time. But there's always a starting point. You may not be running at first. You might be walking fast or even doing intervals, walk fast and slow down, or run a little bit and then walk, just to get yourself up to a point where your body's working a little bit harder. Could be with swimming also. You might just start with water aerobics. That doesn't get the heart rate up too high, but then you can progress on to swimming laps, and that's going to get the heart working a little bit harder. So there's definitely progression to get to the point where you want to be so that you can have a healthier heart or lose weight, burn calories, and work things out that way, a little at a time. Yeah, so the diabetes and the hypertension, anybody who has heart conditions, of course, you should always consult with your doctor before you start an exercise program. Had to say that because, never know who's listening.
I suggest that anybody who decides to start a program, go get a physical first, because you may have underlying conditions you don't even know about. You know what I mean? So go get a physical first and always start off slow. So many people have heart attacks, believe it or not, shoveling snow.
Yeah. They're
sedentary. They don't do anything. So they're going to shovel the snow in the driveway. And you have to realize how heavy snow is while you're putting on that shovel, moving it. Now you're putting a lot of stress on your heart that it's never had before. Speaking about the heart, what is heart health? Well, your heart's a muscle. Basically, it's a muscle that's continuously moving in your body. So what you want to do, there's something called target heart rate while you're working out. And what's a target heart rate? It's a range of numbers that can reflect how fast your heart should be beating while you're exercising. There's a pretty simple calculation how to do that. You just take the number 220 and minus your age. And that number usually is your high end of where you should be. And you should sustain it for at least 20 minutes for good heart health. And then to find out your minimum heart rate while you're working out is to do 220 minus your age times, if you're just beginning, 0.65, if you're intermediate, 0.75, and if you're advanced, 0.85. So 220 minus your age times 6.5, let's just say to start. And that'll be your low end that you should maintain. And maintaining by 20 minutes, because your heart will get stronger and your resting pulse will get lower because your heart doesn't have to work as much to pump that blood through your body. People who have rapid heart rates usually don't do anything. So your heart's got to push through that, especially if you're overweight. Your heart's got to push and pump harder and harder and harder. If you work out a lot and you do a lot of cardio and your resting heart rate's down to 60, that's great, because normal heart rate's around 80 for normal people that are in basically good health. But you get that, mine's around 55, my resting heart rate. That's because I do a lot of cardio. But what that means is that the heart is not pumping as a normal person's. One beat of the heart might push blood a lot further than maybe 10 beats of a normal person's heart rate.
So all those measurements are great for people who want to keep an eye on their improvements when they start a program and as they move along. And the technology today with the Fitbits and the watches, you can have all the information at your fingertips. Body composition, you can go ahead and get those measurements done if you're trying to improve muscle strength to see and lower the fat content of the body. That's another way of finding out what's going on a monthly basis, taking different body measurements to see what's going on. If you like to see the numbers, that's a good way to go if you've got any concerns or if you want to be specific. But also listening to the body, how it feels, how your clothes are fitting, how you look, things that are improving or not improving, and then maybe take measurements to see what's going on. Have you ever done that? Have you done the body composition?
Yeah, did it a few times. In the military, they have Actually, the best way to measure your body fat is they submerge you in a tank of water because the more muscle you have, the farther you'll sink. And the more fat you have, the water rises more. So that's a calculation. I'm not sure exactly how they do it, but that is the best body fat test, is submerging you in a tub of water.
Oh, that's why when me and Billy used to go scuba diving, he needed more weight than me.
Yeah, because I was a little bigger than you. Yeah.
Wasn't muscle strength?
I'm not touching that. He was your husband.
He's going to come down and strike you dead if you do.
Let's take a quick break.
Calling all wellness professionals in Flagler County and the surrounding area. The Flagler Wellness Expo is a community event dedicated to empowering our locals to live a happier, healthier, more balanced lifestyle. We would love to include your business. To find out more, contact us at intuitivelivinginstitute.org/expo.
But that's it. Muscle sinks and fat floats. That's just the bottom line. So if you have more fat on your body, you're going to be very buoyant. And that's why a lot of bodybuilders, especially around competition time, they go in the water down in the bottom like a rock. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's one way to measure it. Another way is they have the pinch test, calipers, and they have another one where you grab these electronic probes. I don't know how accurate that is. There's a way to do it. You know what? The best way to do it for me is the mirror and my jeans or my shorts. You know what I mean? If they fit well, I'm doing good. If I can't button them, I'm not doing that great. You know, you know.
Time to make changes. Yes.
And the thing about it is, all these things sound so complicated, and they're not. The bottom line is, you have to want to do it. If you don't want to do it, that's okay, but don't complain when things go bad. You know what I mean? Secondly, if you want to do it, then do it and make it part of your lifestyle. And thirdly, it's not that hard. You could Google a million different kind of diets and how to eat. And a simple way to lower your fat content is cut your carbohydrates, increase your protein, and do more cardio and do some working out. I mean, it's not brain surgery. It's not rocket science. And the way some of these things you hear about, they're so complicated. They're not. I mean, there's so many different diets, a jelly bean diet, this diet, that diet. Just keep your mouth closed, put down the fork, back away from the table, and cut back sweets. Sweets are the worst. Sugar is sugar is probably one of the most dangerous drugs right now that we have in this country, because everything has sugar in it. From ketchup to whatever you eat has sugar in it. And read a cereal box. How many grams of sugar is in a cereal box? And then go on a scale and see how much a gram of sugar looks like if you pour it down here. It's just amazing how much. But when I say the grams of sugar and contents of a food, you got to realize that's per serving. Then you have to look at how big the serving is. Then that'll really freak you out how much sugar you're eating, you know? Bowls of cereal, then you don't realize how much sugar you just ate. You know?
Yeah. Yes. Okay, let's just go backtrack a little bit to moderate intensity exercise and vigorous intensity exercise. So for those who are starting out, like I said before, walking briskly, water aerobics, bicycling under 10 miles per hour, and dancing, gardening, power yoga. Those are all good ways to go if you're just starting out. And
basically, just moving your body.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. And then you get to a point where that's all feeling good. Listen to your body. Want to take the measurements, want to measure your heart rate, go right ahead. Go ahead and do that. And you're feeling good, then you can move on up to maybe race walking or running or jogging, lap swimming, said that one before, maybe tennis, more vigorous dancing, and bicycling above 10 miles per hour. Just move faster. Jumping rope, backpacking, and circuit training that incorporates aerobics and strength training to keep the heart rate up, alternating. So those are just different modalities of exercising depending on where you're at and where you want to go. And there is so much variety. So you can pick something that you enjoy and just go for it. Let's talk a little bit about musculoskeletal disorders. okay, whether you have them or you're trying to prevent them with exercise programs. Muscular strength helps the structure of the skeleton of the body, and it should be incorporated into your program, your workouts, strength training, so that you can keep the skeleton balanced, making sure you not only work the front of the body, but the back of the body, eccentric and concentric movements to get everything balanced out. Do you have any situations with your skeleton or have you throughout your life?
No, I just had some joint problems over the years because back in the younger days, it was all about powerlifting and bodybuilding and heavy lifting. And my friends and I would work out together and compete with each other. And, we didn't know that we were destroying our joints back in the day then, But getting back to skeletal health, weight-bearing exercise is probably the best thing you could do for your skeleton. And as you get older, taking supplements like calcium, magnesium, vitamin D3, and zinc. You have to feed your body, because if you're going to depend on the food today, you can forget about it. There was a study that said that if you ate a carrot back in the 1940s to get vitamin D, you'd have to eat something like 40 of those carrots today that are GMO to get the same amount of carrots. So you have to take supplements. That's just the bottom line. And please, people, remember, take them with food. Don't take them on an empty stomach, because they're supplements. They're not food. They need food to work with. So people go, I'm going to take my vitamin. Did you eat? No. Okay. It's useless. You know what I mean? So the only problem I had was my joints. I mean, I had some tendonitis and through the years, and I had my elbow reconstructed. So it works just as good as new now. But that's because, like I said, back in the day, we were back in the old Arnold Schwarzenegger mentality of doing heavy weights and grunting and groaning. And now my workout consists of all repetitions, high repetitions. You have to put the ego out of the way, especially young people today, the young people in the gym. How much you bench press? It doesn't matter. You do one rep, did nothing. You just satisfied your ego and you impressed your friends. Do the exercises correctly and do reps. That's the new genre of working out, is doing reps, repetition. You don't have to go heavy, because as you get older, it's just going to be havoc on your joints.
Yeah. So there's that part of it, the working out throughout the years, the heavy lifting that may have just tried to destroy your body. But there's also everyday life. Something that I've been noticing lately in women is women who carry these ridiculously large, heavy purses. Okay, it's usually on the same shoulder all the time. And you watch them walking, and they're walking, leaning over to the side without a purse even. Because this is after years and years of living that life. Now you've got your skeleton that's been moved and altered, and trying to get it in the natural position again feels strange.
Right. And to segue into something that's even more devastating is these young kids going to school wearing these gigantic backpacks, compressing their spines. These young kids aren't even developed yet. We carried our books in our arms like this when we were kids. They're wearing backpacks now, and that constant pressure of compressing your spine, it's not good for children because they're not formed. Their bones are still soft. Their spine isn't developed yet, and it's just really bad. So I never let my kid have a backpack on his back when he was going to school.
They're doing it from elementary school now. They've got like all these books they got to take back and forth. We used to have lockers. I don't get it.
Yeah.
They've got computers, their little laptops that they got to take to school every day and bring home. Then their lunch and their water bottles. We never had water bottles. We drank out of the water fountain, water bottles full of water. Just, I see my granddaughters, the weight that they're carrying on their backs because of all the things that they have to carry back and forth to school. It's just insane. Yeah.
I think the next generation of adults are going to have a lot of back problems because of this. Because I live near a school and I see these kids walking to school with these suitcases on their back. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous.
Got their phones, so where you're leaning forward with your head and your neck all the time. Their shoulders are cowering. That's so much that's going to have to be corrected later on. It's insane. Yeah. I wish that something different could be done about that from a very young age, elementary school.
Yeah, it's amazing that parents don't think about that. The problem is everybody's so busy today. Both parents have to work. Mm-hmm. Both of these But parents, they shove the kids out the door. The kids got to go to school, put them on a bus or whatever. They get them walking, and they're really not thinking about it. But you have to consider the future, what's going on in the future. I would have never probably power lifted like I did when I was younger, because my shoulders are a little sore now and my knees are a little sore from the cartilage wearing down. And that's just, I would have never did that, and it was all about ego back in those days, living on the beach and, hey, I'm look great. Look at me. You know what I mean? How much do you bet for it? It's just when you're young, ignorance is bliss when you're young.
Mm-hmm.
Then when you wake up one morning and you're 40 and you're like, uh-oh, what's that? I didn't even know I had a muscle there that hurt. You know what I mean? Something's bothering you.
Yeah, and one other thing I wanted to mention about the musculoskeletal disorder is mostly men. Some women, but mostly men, as they get older, their shoulders are coming forward. They've got these bellies that are getting bigger. It's pulling them forward. They've got really weak backs, and they can't even stand up straight and put their backs and hands up against the wall. Bad news.
And osteoporosis is on the rise for both men and women. And osteoporosis, if anyone doesn't know, it's the degeneration of bone and bone loss. I had a bone scan and I had 5% bone loss. So I had mild osteoporosis. They wanted to put me on Fosamax, which is a drug, which is for bone loss. I think the first side effect of Fosamax is femur fractures. And I corrected it myself. I increased my D3 with vitamin K. I increased my calcium and my magnesium. And 2 years later, I had a 5% increase in bone. You'll never get back what you lost.
Right.
I had a 5% increase of the deterioration.
Just by taking the supplements.
You shrink as you get older. That's just the bottom line. You lose height. You do. I've lost an inch or two in height since my youth, but that's just a natural thing. A lot of that's from doing heavy squats and compressing the spine and not stretching, which everybody should do, is stretch. And I'm guilty of that, of not stretching enough. As you mentioned before, yoga is great. And now they have the hot yoga, which is even better because it warms the muscles and it stretches the muscles easier.
Have you ever done it?
I did it one time, and I wasn't crazy about it. Being in the hot rooms, doing the downward dog. You know what I mean? The bottom line, I really should do more yoga.
Mm-hmm.
Especially at this age.
Yeah, so flexibility is so important. We need to have flexibility in the joints so that we can get that full range of motion. If we don't try to get that full range of motion, it becomes more and more limited as you get older or through injury. And if you don't practice that, it's going to get worse.
And you have to do a lot of core work as you get older. And the core is your abdominals and your lower back. And if you do too many abdominals and not your lower back, you'll have a tendency to draw it forward. You're developing muscles that are going to pull the stomach forward, and you're not going to have enough back muscles. You end up leaning forward. So, but the core is very important because that keeps your balance. That's the middle of your body, and it keeps you balanced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has to be worked from the front and the back. People don't realize that the core is not just those abdominal muscles in the front of the body. It's also all the little muscles along the spine. So when you do planks or when you're pulling with bands, I have a Bowflex machine here at my house, and that thing is great for working the core of the body, the back of the body. Because anytime you're pulling with those bands, it just really tightens everything up in the front and the back so that you can go through the movement and strengthen the back muscles while you're at it.
And working your glutes is included in that, in the back, because your glutes, believe it or not, your glutes are the biggest muscle in your body, the most dense muscle in your body. Mm-hmm. That helps with the lower back, supports the lower back is the glutes,
Mm-hmm. Have you ever had lower back issues yourself?
Yeah. Only on weekdays.
Only on weekdays.
Yeah, my lower back's always sore somehow, one way or the other. Yeah, but I stretch it out. I have an inversion table at my house. So the minute I wake up in the morning, I lock myself into the inversion table and I lay back for about 10 to 15 minutes, and I, hang upside down. And at first, it's kind of weird feelings. It's uncomfortable, but you're locked in. You're not going anywhere. And my inversion table has memory foam, so it's very comfortable, and it has a lumbar hump in the back, so the curvature of your spine fits perfectly. So I hang upside down for 10, 15 minutes a day, and it literally just stretches out your vertebrae, and it works. If you have a sore back when you wake up, You do that for 10, 15 minutes. It really does work. It's pretty amazing because your own body weight is pulling your vertebrae, it's your own body weight.
Yeah. And one step better than that would be traction, your joints being pulled in different directions.
Right.
To where you're stretching it out, opening it up, making it feel better.
Yeah, stretching extremely important. I don't like doing it, but it's important. So I do it and I'm not liking it.
Why don't you like it?
I don't know. I don't know. I still
Hard
say, maybe. I don't know. I just never was a fan of stretching, but like I said, it's a necessary evil for me. You have to, especially as you get older, things start to hurt as you get older, especially if you've been working out most of your life. Things start to hurt. Parts wear out. So you have to stretch out. And you should take peptides to increase your collagen because collagen is the elasticity of your skin and your bones. So I take collagen peptides every morning in my coffee. 2 scoops of my coffee. It's odorless, tasteless. You don't even know it's there.
That's why your skin looks great.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
And oil of Olay. No, I'm kidding.
Use your wife's oil of Olay.
I do moisturize my face after I shave. You have to. I put sea breeze on it to take the sting out of it. Then I moisturize it with whatever products my wife gives me. I don't know. I don't know what they are. I know they're expensive.
Like, here, honey, use this.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
And it smells good too.
Yeah. Some of them smell too good,
Okay, let's talk about muscular strength a little bit more. The effects of resistance training to start with. There's different kinds of strength training. You can use bands, you can use machines, you can use free weights, and then there's body weight.
I do both. I do free weights and I use a lot of machines. The machines are great because they isolate the muscle. And that's what you want to do. If you're working chest, anytime you work chest, you're going to work shoulders and triceps with it because that's just an incorporation muscles that have to push the pectoral muscles. But I do a mixture of both. I'll do flat benching with dead weights, and then I'll do a seated bench press on the machine, and I'll do high reps with that. I mix it all up. I really don't have a routine anymore. I just go in there and do what I feel like doing, or I walk in the gym and whatever doesn't hurt that day is that's what I'm working.
Good way to go about it.
Yeah, but the machines I have today are just great. They're just not like the old days back in the 70s and 80s. These machines are they perfected them very nicely. You know what I mean? They're all great movements, So if you don't want to use weights, go on the machines or you pull out a pin, you set the weight, and that's it. You just do it. You don't have to grab the big weights and load them onto the machine because some people find an excuse not to go to the gym. Oh, I don't want to lift the heavy weights. You don't have to anymore. You don't have to.
Yeah, so the machines focus on individual muscles. Yeah, you might be with a chest press machine focusing on the pectoral muscles, but when you're pushing away from the body, those triceps are also getting a workout. So they also help you to maintain the correct body position to prevent injury. So that's really good about the machines. Free weights, though, help to incorporate more than one muscle group. Even though you might be focusing on a chest press, you have to hold your body correctly to stabilize. So you're automatically using more muscles than just pectoral muscles.
Every time I walk into the gym, except on leg day, the first thing I do is I sit on the seated bench press and I'll put a lightweight on and I'll do sets of 20 until I do 100 reps. And that pretty much warms up my shoulders and my triceps and my chest muscle. Even if I'm working biceps, it still warms up that area. I've learned that over the years because a lot of people just they'll go right to that muscle and do heavy weights. And that's how injuries occur because you're not warmed up. As you get older, you have to warm up a little more. So that's my way of warming up. The minute I walk in, I sit down on the seated bench press and I'll do very strict reps of sets of 20 until I get to 100 reps.
Do you have a rowing machine at your gym?
Yes.
So those things are really good for warming up. They get the legs moving, stabilizing the core, using the arms. I really like those. Gets the shoulder joint moving. Yeah, everything's involved. The hands, the wrists. So that's a good one. I have clients warm up on the rowing machines. And if you want to stay on there longer, give it a little more resistance, you get a nice aerobic workout.
And if you're first starting, I suggest to get a personal trainer to show you the right way to do things, because by listening to me or listening to you, it's hard to visualize if you've never done it before.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get a personal trainer, even if you keep him for a couple of weeks and he shows you your routine for a couple of weeks, then you'll learn it on your own. Then you'll do it. He'll show you the right way, or she'll show you the right way. And that's what I suggest you getting a personal trainer if you've never done it before, because these personal trainers are pretty well caught up on all the newest exercises and dieting too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, personal trainers are there for you to assist you. Some people just like to get started, like you were saying, show you how to do things correctly, get you going on a program. Maybe then you going off on your own, doing that for a while till you feel like you need something more, and then check in again, check in with your personal trainer again, and start all over again with a new program. Make it more difficult, or if things aren't happening the way you want to, things can be changed. And you just check in every now and again. Or you've got people who like the accountability of a personal trainer, and you keep them forever, almost.
And the good thing about a personal trainer is they'll keep you on schedule, because you'll go to the gym if you know you have an appointment to go to meet the guy or the girl. You won't have any excuses to leave. But let me just say this. If you're first starting, do not get discouraged if you do not see results in the first 2 weeks. It's not going to happen that quickly. And that's why a lot of people quit. Oh, I didn't see the results. How long did you do it? 2 to 3 weeks? No. It's going to take about 3 months before you get to see the results. And then your eyes are going to open wide and go, wow, this really works. And when you start getting compliments from people going, wow, you look great. What are you doing? That's a great motivator, because, we want to do this to be healthy and we want to do this to look good. But the bottom line is ego is an incredible motivator. We all like to look good. We all like to feel good. And ego will motivate you. When people are telling you constantly how good you look and they're complimenting you, that'll get you in the gym. It really will.
Very good advice. Yes, you've got to give it the time. It takes a long time to get that body out of shape, creeps up on a lot of people. So you have to do the same thing when you're trying to get back in shape. It takes time. So just start somewhere and just keep on going. And eventually you'll get to where you want to be. And then you can't stop. You got to keep that lifestyle.
And the diet. If you happen to be a person who has a weight problem, you have to maintain that diet. You can't cut out all the sweets, lower the carbs, increase the protein, and get into the gym. And it'll work. It'll work. The only way you lose weight is if you take in less calories and burn more. And the way you're going to gain weight is taking more calories and burn less. It's not a hard calculation.
And if you want more than that, you want more math, you can do that too. You can get your personal trainer or a nutritionist to help you figure out, according to what your body weight is, what your body mass is compared to the body fat index, and they can help you figure out how many calories you should be consuming every day if you want to do that math on a daily basis. Keeping records of what you eat, that is like a psychological thing. I tell people to do that for me only to make them more aware of what they're consuming on a weekly basis.
My son weighs everything he puts in his mouth. Everything he eats, he weighs. And it's pretty annoying.
That's a lot. Yeah.
But he weighs everything, and he's big. He's 6'1", 240. You know what I mean? So he's in the gym every day, but he weighs his food. I know I'm making this and making that. I'm just eating what's good for me at this point in my life. I'm not going to weigh my, I'm not going to be a slave to my body that much.
But also, like somebody who does that, you really should only have to do that for a certain period of time. And then you kind of know that a steak this big, how much it's going to give you and what you need, how much bread you should or shouldn't be eating. Over time of weighing and measuring, you eventually realize, okay, this is what I can and can't have. Portion.
Yeah, but he weighs everything. If he wasn't so big, I'd hold him down and shove a pizza down his throat. But, it's better that he does that than being over caring about what his health is, or how his looks are.
If it works for him, right? It's whatever works for you.
Right.
Like some people need those measurements. So fine, do it that way if that's what you need. Right?
Right. But also, excuses are so easy to come up with not to do things. You know what I mean? And then I'll make an excuse not to go to the gym, and I'll feel twice as terrible that I made the stupid excuse up. and I'll end up going to the gym later on in the day. And then I feel better. I redeem myself because I'll get up in the morning and go, I'm going to take the day off. And why? Why are you taking the day off? It's Tuesday? No. I'll just go. You know what I mean? But I'll feel so much better because is it an addiction? Yes. It's a kind of a mental addiction, an obsession. Yeah. Okay. You could call it that too. But anything that's you're too obsessive over, too addicted over is not a good thing because then it starts controlling your life. But I don't let it control my life. I just make it part of my life.
Well, we should always try to do things that maybe we don't want to, because that's how we grow.
Right. Right.
And if you have to tell yourself on a daily basis that I don't want to go to the gym today, well, that's what you should be doing.
Uh-huh.
And,
Absolutely.
and you'll reap the benefits of doing that.
Look, like I said before, you cannot make somebody go to the gym, no matter how much you talk to them, no matter how much you say it's beneficial. They have to want to do it. The hardest part about going to the gym is going to the gym, is getting there, driving there, getting up in the morning and going. That's the hardest part. Once you're there, you might as well do it because you're there and you paid for it. But you have to want to do it. Some people just don't want to do it. And that's okay too. You know, I don't have any bad feelings for somebody who doesn't want to work out. But like I said, as the years go by, don't complain when you have arrhythmia, diabetes. And I see these fast food commercials and I just cringe. The McDonald's and Burger King and Checkers. And I just cringe at they show these young kids going in there and swallowing down these burgers and these fried foods. You know, it's just, they'll learn someday. I'm sure they will.
Okay, so balance. Balance is a big deal for a lot of the people that I train, mostly people who are just a little bit older. And the littlest things can throw them off balance. Walking and they miss a step and they get thrown off balance. Carrying things, losing balance. And they want to go for walks. They want to go hiking even, and they're scared to because they lose balance. So balance training is a big part of my regimen for a lot of my clients, and trying to teach them to get their grounding and staying focused, looking straight ahead, standing up straight, using the core muscles in their body to help them stay upright and keep their balance. Do you ever do any kind of balance exercise?
Most of my balance exercising is core training because that's where the balance comes from, is your core. I'll tell you what's great, works for me for my balance is I'll do maybe 30, 40 minutes on a treadmill and I'll do a fast walk, or I'll increase the incline and then decrease it. I'll go faster and slower. And I'm telling you, after you get off the treadmill, you feel like when you're walking, you feel like you're flying. You know what I mean? And for me, that's what work is that. As far as balance you can do, there's a ton of different exercises you could do, standing on one leg and balancing your core that way. But people could go online and find out those exercises if that's what they want to do. But basically, it's my core, abdominals, lower back, and a lot of treadmill and Stairmaster. Like I said, the Stairmaster for me is the ultimate torture chamber, but I love it because your heart rate just increases automatically when you're doing that. Mm-hmm. It's not hard. It's really not for beginners either.
Well, have you ever gone to Colorado and go uphill?
Yeah. A few years back, we went hiking in Utah and Arizona, and I'm in Florida, so I'm at zero sea level. I mean, I'm on the beach. And I thought I was in great cardio shape, you know what I mean? Because I did a lot of bike ride. I even trained for this hiking trip. So I did a lot of cardio. I did a lot of Stairmaster, a lot of treadmill. And then when we got there and we're at 9,000, 10,000 feet, I sound like a Dyson vacuum cleaner sucking air. You know, I was like, wow.
Isn't that incredible? Yeah.
Because don't forget, in Florida, you have a lot of humidity in the air because when you live on the ocean, there's a lot of humidity in the air. You know, your body's used to breathing in what's humidity? It's moisture. So when you go to a 9,000 feet where it's dry and you're not used to that, it's a big difference. It's a big difference. So I would love to train up in those mountains. I would love to train in that. You know, I mean,
yeah.
You come back home, you'd be a monster, a cardio monster. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So I went on a trip also out that way a couple of years ago. Same area. Did you go to Zion National Park in Bryce Canyon? Is that where you went?
That whole area, yeah.
Yeah, that's where I was at. Absolutely beautiful, but definitely a challenge to the body.
Yeah. Yeah, just then visually it's just so strange because Florida's basically flat, and I spent a lot of time in the Everglades fishing or on the ocean fishing, and everything was big sky and flat. There, you're by red clay mountains and just like it's another planet. It's gorgeous, you know?
God's country. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Natural beauty and a challenge to your physical body. So that goes for anybody. If you're from that area and you come to Florida, it's a challenge for people here with the high humidity to get into an exercise program, especially in the warmer months, almost impossible. And for us going in places like that we're not used to the altitude, you're struggling to get up the side of a mountain, and here comes these people just running right past you. Do you experience that?
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, how are they doing that?
The body acclimates to the environment. If you live there within a few months, it'd be just like if you train in that. Your body acclimates. Your body's an amazing tool. It acclimates to pretty much everything. And, getting back to the heart, all that kind of working out, it strengthens heart functions. It decreases blood pressure. It increases your metabolism to burn calories better, and your respiratory function improves. People don't realize your lungs are just inflatable balloons. No, they're controlled by a muscle, and that muscle gets stronger. While you're breathing, while your respiratory rate's 40 a minute, and the guy next to you who lives there is 20, just because he's used to that, and his lungs are stronger than yours.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I keep on saying that I'd like to go and live where the weather is fine, depending on what time of year it is. And that's a good thing to do to help your body get used to different climates and different elevations.
Mm-hmm.
So one of these things, I'll be experiencing all of that. Yeah. Okay. Low back and core care. So a lot of people have issues. We're going to go back to the lower back, the spine, and how we can keep that in shape and make it stronger. Somebody was just telling me that recently that their body feels really strong, that they can do a lot of things compared to other people. But when they went to a certain class where they were having to do more using the back of the body to do exercises to strengthen the core, that the back was like talking to them, like, this is not working for me. I didn't realize I was this weak in my back.
Right.
So that's so important to keep the muscles in the back of the body strong so that we can prevent injuries for the lower back.
Right. And you can use a Roman chair for that. And if your gym has a Roman chair, which you lay in and it's hard to describe, you're flat out and you're lifting your body up. It's like a reverse sit-up. Almost a reverse sit-up. You're compressing your lower back. Or what I do is a lot of stiff-legged deadlifts, but very light, very light. You just lock your legs out and you come down real slow with the bar, and then you come up and you compress backwards. I don't go heavy on that. It's not like a regular deadlift. These are stiff-legged. It pulls the hamstring, it pulls the glutes, and it pulls the lower back.
Mm-hmm. That is a good one. Yeah, I practice that one with some of my people too. Yeah, stressing though, not a lot of heavy weight.
No.
It's not a competition.
You don't need it, especially as you're older. I mean, we're talking about older folks here. You don't need that heavy weight. You need repetition. You need to do something. You just need it just to do it,
Yeah, and let's talk about that a little bit more compared to, younger people, older people, their workouts. It's definitely different, and you need to listen to your body. We don't need to be lifting heavy weight as you get older. Go back to the lower weight, the longer reps. It works out just fine. How often are you going to have to pick up something really heavy and put it up on the shelf? No, ask for help, right? So you don't injure yourself.
Absolutely. And if you do injure yourself, it takes a lot longer to heal as you get older than you do when you're younger. Back in the day, we were doing heavy squats. I'm talking about 500-600 pounds. You hurt your back. You take a day off from the gym the next day. The day after that, you're back in the gym working out. Now, no. If I hurt my lower back, I take probably 4 or 5 days off from the gym so it heals up. And that's how long it takes.
And the rest of your body suffers because you're not going and staying active.
Right. But those days that I do take off, I basically control my intake because I'm not really burning anything. So I'll just keep my protein high and I'll keep my carbohydrates low, but I'll eat minimal those days because I know what happens to me. I get it. And the love handles grow like they're like mushrooms. They just grow overnight,
Damn.
But on the other hand, I'm lucky because my waistline, if I get lazy and I gain a few pounds, my waistline goes away quickly. That's the first place I lose weight is my waistline. It goes quick. Some people don't,
Yeah,
depends on your metabolism. But like I said, this working out, it increases your metabolism. People have natural fast metabolism and natural slow metabolisms, but the working out will help increase your metabolism to burn your fats quicker.
Yes. Keep that metabolism burning. Need as much as we can get.
Yeah.
Especially as hormones start changing, they start getting into their 40s, and it happens to men too. Hormonal changes wreaks havoc on the body, and you need to do what you can to keep that all going. If you just ignore it, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse.
And consult your doctor. Testosterone therapy is big right now, and testosterone therapy works. It really does. Under a doctor's care, it works for men. And just like women have estrogen therapy and they go through the changes, men go through changes too. People don't realize it. Some people call it menopause, you know what I mean? But it really does, because they're finding out, there's studies that testosterone levels are very low in this country right now. Guys in their 20s and 30s, the levels are extremely low. And a lot of that they're saying is from the foods, because there's so much artificial foods and genetically modified foods. It's ruining people's hormones.
We're all going to die.
Well,
and the babies aren't going to be born.
right. Who knows?
Yeah. All this stuff they put in our foods. Craziness. You can taste the preservatives in them. I've started juicing, just different kinds of vegetable juicing. And you can just, wow, the taste is so amazing compared to opening up a carton of orange juice and drinking it.
I juice with vegetables, though. I don't like vegetables. I don't eat vegetables. I drink my vegetables. I'll put a handful of organic spinach in a blender with a handful of organic kale. I'll cut up half a cucumber and then like a quarter of a Granny Smith apple. Just to sweetness, because without that Granny Smith apple, the kale and spinach.
Yeah, you need an apple.
Kind of puke inducing. So I'll drink that with my dinner. And that's, but I do like salads. I'm not talking about iceberg lettuce because that's pretty much useless. I'm talking about dark green salads like butter lettuce or dark green romaine. The deep green leafy salads, a good romaine or a butter lettuce, or I don't eat iceberg lettuce because that's basically cellulose and water. There's not much there, and fiber. It's got some fiber in it. But I like the spring mix you could buy. As far as eating vegetables, some people really enjoy vegetables. I just don't, So I'll drink them.
Yeah. Try a little bit of ginger in there too. Fresh ginger.
Yeah, I've done that. Yeah.
That's really good too.
My wife forces ginger on me all the time. She said, you got to eat the ginger. So she'll buy the ginger root.
Yeah.
Throw it in there. But you can't eat too much of that. That's for sure.
Why?
For me, it kind of upsets my stomach if I eat too much ginger.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, respect that, right? All right, Rick, this has been great. Is there anything else you'd like to tell our listeners out there?
I'm just like kind of a bottom line guy. And, we've been talking about fitness. And for those of you who are listening, who've never done it before and are getting sick of feeling sick and feeling, tired and lethargic all the time, give it a try. Give it a try. Make a commitment to yourself to give it a try. Get a good diet. You can go online and there's a million different good diets for working out. Spend the money, get a personal trainer. You don't have to do it for long, maybe a month. Let them teach you what you want to know. And then you can do it on your own. And just try it for 3 months. And I guarantee you're going to see changes in yourself and you're going to feel better. And the bottom line is, you got to want to do it. You have to want to do it, and you have to keep consistent. Don't say, I'm going to do this and do it once or twice a week, because it's not going to work that way. It's just not going to work, And stay away from sugar. Stay away from sugar. And if you didn't hear what I said, stay away from sugar. And it's tough because I love sweets. You know what I mean? But stay away from it. It's just worthless, empty calories. That's all that is. They're simple carbohydrates and they're worthless. Taste good, but like what's that old saying? A moment on the lips is a lifetime on the hips, or something like that. But yeah, so the bottom line is, if you want to try working out, you want to try a fitness program, do it and research it first, and then just do it. Try for 3 months. It'll work. Guaranteed.
Very good advice. And if anybody out there wants to get a specialized training program, whether it be diet or a workout program, get in touch with me. I'll be happy to help you out with that and get you started on the right track. All right, Rick, thanks so much for being on the show with me again today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Now people get to have 2 episodes of listening to you and all your knowledge.
I'm sure they're thrilled.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing all your wisdom and
No problem.
your lifetime wisdom with everybody.
It was fun. It always is.
Yeah. And soon I'll be getting Rick to be a co-host with me on some of my future recordings. That's going to be fun.
Looking forward to that. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It'll be dynamic, a different dynamic. So be looking out for that.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I'm looking.
Cool. All right, Rick. Thank you so much. I'll be talking to you soon.
This is Angela Grayson from the Loving Life Fitness Podcast. To help others in their fitness journey. All possible.
It's time to wake up. Here we go.